Hi there, I'm David Hunt, owner of GameMasters Guild, and today this is a lights-on walkthrough of my haunted house. Now, I don't have any characters in here, and I gotta tell you, characters are 90-95% of the reason why it is so good. But now, let's go take a quick walkthrough, and I'll probably do a couple other walkthroughs, lights off, lights on with scare actors, just so you can kind of check it out later on. Alright, so right now I'm going to explain what I got. When they first come in the door, to the right here, you're gonna see I got some hanging skeletons, I got some pumpkins, I got candles, I got some these CPR faces, which I cut out the eyes in, and this is all illuminated by the candles that I've got, the electric candles that I've got here. And then here to this other side is actually right here to my left. This is where I normally stand. Now, of course, in the dark you can't see a lot of this extra mess from my table. My table just looks creepy because I've got all these masks and stuff because I switch out and do a couple different positions. Here's a cut through to get from the front of the haunt to the middle of the haunt, and you can see my cage access right here. It's where my actors reach through and scare people, because this year we have a cage where people get trapped and then all the monsters come for them, and it's immensely popular. But anyways, this is the starting point, and then we greet them and we come in this direction. Now over here, like this canopy and this table, this is all stuff for outside, so it's stored here right now. But this cage is actually partitioned off, so I have a guy being creepy here. Then I've got my faceless one who comes out after I greet them right here, and then what happens is the faceless one gathers everybody, gives them the quick spiel, and then brings them this way through this tunnel. And this is Ulysses, he's one of my scare actors. This is Ulysses. Yo, what's up? What's going on? So, I can yeah.
Oh, cool. Yeah, sorry. Just making sure we have a bunch of packing material like that we got in, and we have like a crap ton. And it was asking school.
So check it. Yeah. Thanks.
Yeah.
So, anyways, thanks, Ulysses.
You got it.
That was a gratuitous cut. All right. So, anyways, so let's go this way, and we'll come this way. Now, after I greet them, usually after I greet them before the faceless one comes out, because the faceless one is my tour guide, then I cut through here, and actually a lot of times what I do is I hit the fog, and there's a lot of times where I'm not there greeting them, and I hit the fog, faceless one brings them in, and then I actually here have Bartholomew. He's one of my acromatronics that I made, and it's got a pull string right here that activates his teeth, and then I've got a push button that activates his mouth action. Or not mouth action, I'm sorry, about push button that activates his growling sounds. And you can see right here, he's just hung from the ceiling right here. I've got like a just little carabiner, a lightweight one. He's not that heavy. He is actually made out of an old Hallmark candy dish, which if you can find them, these things are ridiculously expensive now, but I turned it upside down, I hinged it, I got a little pull wire right here that I can pull the jaw with, and see, that's just his construction underneath there. So, and my push button's way in the back, right here. See it activate right there, and that's all he is. He's just some foam noodles, a piece of 1x1. He was born on 9/22/2023, and he's been my attraction ever since. And then a lot of times I'll be like the keeper, and I'll be like, I'll activate him. The faceless one will say, back beast, and then they'll tell me to control my beast, and I'll bring him back. But what's cool is I can swing him around and come back this way. Gotta watch my distance off so I don't run into anybody, but it's not too bad because I know exactly how big he is. All right, then coming through, we're moving forward. Here to the right, this obviously no one's really worried about because that's my escape right there. But it's blocked off so nobody can see it. Coming through, this actually right here, this picture window opens up so people can scare. I've got a guy that literally comes from across the haunt to scare right here. You know, and that's a lot of guys are doing double duty, not because they have to, but because they want to, and it's because it's nice to do more than just your one scare. So a lot of people move around doing 2 or 3 scares. Of course, as it gets faster and gets busier, sometimes we can't do that, but because we're still a guided haunt, we can still afford most of my people can still afford to do that. The big thing is everybody kind of really has to reset in between groups and get back in position if they move around. And coming back through here, I've got these windows right here illuminated by candles. In previous years, people would peek up and scare, but now this time the candles are just here to illuminate the inside and also from the outside. Then you can see the window frames on the outside, see the candles illuminate. Coming through here, we've got what we call the museum to the right. Kind of position this a little bit better here. So the faceless one, my tour guide comes out, leads people out here to show them the museum. And this is Ozzy. Someone can get behind Ozzy and can activate him. It's just another animatronic. So it's super easy to give him life, and you just about imagine in the dark that's going to be pretty scary. Plus, we can position his arms wherever we need him to. He's just one of those big, like 8-foot skeletons, but it's super cool. Over here to my right is some camo netting I got. Let me see if I got that in frame for you. Yep, and you just run your arm to the right, run your arm sorry, to the left, to the right. One big sweep allows my actors to run in and out. Again, the end of the haunt is right there, and near the end of the haunt is that direction. This is a cut through that allows me to get from the middle of the haunt to just about the end of the haunt. Just a little Z shape, and you're over there. Here's a little peekaboo area, so someone from the other side of the haunt can see what's happening, or maybe poke their head out and scare if they want to. See where I'm at. And then here I've got my more parts of my museum, so-called museum. And then I've got a couple of guys in skeleton cages, my Nosferatu head, my big pumpkin head. Now what's interesting is these two cages, and this guy, and the stone wall, and the side behind it, they're all mounted. All this is mounted on 2 furniture dies, which are secured by 2 life wars, and secured in every possible way imaginable. And this whole unit, I stack the skulls up on it, and I just wheel it right out of the way, just like everything else. Pretty much everything's on casters. This right here is my little hidey hole. You call it the shrine, whatever you want to call it, but someone sits here. It's all cool because it's illuminated by all these electric candles. And back here, I've got some inexpensive battery-powered lights on a string, probably about 10 feet long or so, and I just kind of circle them around, and you'll see that in action a little bit later. Works really well. It's a nice centerpiece when they come out. This right here is another hidey hole. Plus also too, you can see the cage is right here. So after the people go, after they're let out into the museum area and they come around, the faceless one takes it this way because they're going to get locked in the cage going this way. And whoever's in here can also come back and scare them. That's one of the big things is my central cage scare this year. So coming this way, as you can see the path. Then to the right, we've got this animatronic, which is activated by someone over here on this other side in this chair. And as they come into this cage, you can see the partition. So someone at the beginning of the haunt right there, the scaring people when they first come in, or at least being creepy, now can also come out of here and scare people in the cage. And again, as you come up the cage, see the other end, this is where I've got my other scare actors hanging out so they can reach through and scare people. And again, you can see it leads straight to the front. So lots of ways to get around, first of all for safety, but also too for the ability to scare people. Now people will come inside the cage, and now once inside the cage, let me kind of set something up here. Now when people are led in by the faceless one, by my tour guide, so people are led in this way, and they kind of hang out here, and my faceless one, the tour guide, he goes all the way to that brick wall off to the side. So someone will come out of here, but only after whoever's in this spot closes this. And the faceless one says, "Oh no, we've been tricked, we're trapped." And again, someone comes out here, someone comes out from behind this cloth here. Someone comes out from behind these bars over here and it scares people. And so it's real tight, it's confining, it's creepy. I've got, let me fix this a little bit. I've got this space where I've got somebody here screaming, help me, and also maybe trying to reach out for him. I've got somebody else, I've got this big guy, just kind of as filler. And then right here is my door. So here again, they're trapped in now because this is closed. And now, again, I'll just open this so you can see the action of it. Oh no, we're closed in. And then, corner, turn around, everybody's being scary. You don't even notice how unpainted that is, although next year I want to get it painted. But there's my brick wall, which I had it hinged, and pretty much my regular customers who play in this room didn't even know it was hinged because it just looks like it's there. And then my guide says, oh, we're trapped. Wait, I think I found a way out. And this opens right up, and they're let out to the next room. And of course, because this walks right by the cage to the left, people can still kind of jump out and get it. People passing by. I got some vampire skeletons. This is illuminated. Here to the right, you can see where I'll have somebody here and this table. And that wall you saw me move earlier, but that's nice so people can, so our actors can cut through really quickly and also make quick emergency pass if we need to. So this room, as we come in, this is our culty room. That's what I like to call it. So here I've got just a dummy in a costume. And then I've got a little altar set up right here. I got some creepy cultish kind of mass. Yeah, I'll be right there. And then right here I've got, you can see I've got some of these pews and everything. Okay, that was my maintenance guy. I had to talk to him for a second. So anyways, in here, this is my culty room, which is normally my steampunk room. But you see I got some pews, which are normally in here. I just randomly had them. I got them from a guy. And they usually line the back wall. And they actually store mahjong supplies because I usually have an automatic mahjong table in here. But not during the haunt. And I like to put masks on fans. It's just something. It gets a few people. At least it's another use for a mask and something that moves, which is cool. And then here I've got this table where people can be creepy. I just got a nice little setup. I do have this fog machine over here off to the side, this small one, so they can fog it up a little bit. And this year, the way this room was originally built, I had a small 2x4 frame here that completed this wall, but this year I took it out. I'm going to hinge it so I can put it back to normal, and every year I can use it. But here, come through here, and this is something totally new. Well, the cult room's new, but this is also my clown room. It's illuminated all in black light, and I've got a creepy doll just kind of floating there right here in space. Someone will get right there underneath the table. Hang on, I am being called. So when I have some people dressed up in clown costumes, I've got a cursed dolly who likes to be under this table right here. And in black light, it doesn't look really cool now, but in black light it looks pretty good. There's a lot of motion because I've got this tower fan going with this mask on top. A little janky, I know, but it's some other kind of movement. So, you know, later on in the future, I'd like to have something in front of it. So that way, it just looks like someone peeking up and over. Time limit, space limits, that kind of thing. I didn't have a chance to really do anything. This guy is an animatronic. His head pops up over his hands, but I just leave him right here in the corner because he's super creepy. And then I have a candle, electric candle right here that I turn on the bright white light, and it illuminates him from in front, so as people are walking up from behind, it looks really, really good. And we'll see some of that a little later on. So something else I did is I only took off one door this year, which is for the butcher room, just to make it easier. But all the other doors I left on because I didn't think it was going to be a problem, and it hasn't been a problem. Plus this door matches everything else. And so when they first come in, it kind of looks like we're coming into a dead-end room. And then our spirit, or our guide, leads people out, and you can see the flesh wall. And that was the cool big thing for the first year, was the flesh wall. We had a little bit of lighting issues, so I had to put some accent lighting on them with some little like tea light votives. And you see one there is still lit right here. But that kind of helped out. He's lit from behind by a bunch of wire lights. If you've seen any of those DIYs, you know, you lay down the wire lights. I got a battery-powered string light underneath that foam. I did spray foam. I did the skeleton and all that. So it works pretty good. To the right, you can see I've got this little guy, which someone could be and be creepy if they wanted to, but it's really not close to people. But then, of course, here I've got this table, and you can see where the skeleton is, where the cage is. You can see the pass-through. You can see my secret passage from the cage door open. Anyways, we come out. Oh, and something else I want to show you. Big old ceramic skull from a couple years ago. They're super awesome. And coming this way. Now, here I have, this is the back side of the cages with the pumpkin guy. And again, it's all long casters, and I can just wheel it out of the way. I do have to do a little bit of adjustment. This panel is secured. These two panels are secured and removable, easily removable, so it makes it a little easy to move. Once I get it where it's going, I can hook the panels back up and I'm good. Have to do a few minor readjustments, but other than that, it's good. This is the way down to the butcher room, which is right here. And also I've got a fog machine right here, which kicks out a ton of fog. And then I've got a small green laser right there, and that creates the laser swamp effect that a lot of haunted houses like to do. This is the first year that I've done it. I tried it, you know, mid-height. I tried it real low. I tried it real high. It all looks cool. I kind of liked it being real high, but I wanted people to really be able to interact with it. I didn't want to do it waist high because I know I'd be having a bunch of kids and stuff, and I was worried about kids getting hit in the eye with the laser, so I just went real low with it this year. In other years, I might change the height a little bit depending. You know, I'm trying to see what kind of crowd I'm getting and where I think I might do the laser. I might think maybe do it at an angle or do it completely vertically, which is cool because it looks like it's a portal. But anyways, it basically just runs off the floor about, well, a bucket's height, 5-gallon bucket's height off the floor, and I will run around from the front after they pass me up front in the tunnel with my big ectomatronic, that big black monster-looking thing. We call him Bartholomew. That's well, my homeschoolers named him Bartholomew, so it stuck. And so after that, then what I'll do is I'll change into another mask. If I have to, if it's thin enough, if I don't have enough actors at the moment, because sometimes some of them have to cut out at certain times, I'll don one mask, slide over to the cage, which is just a few steps away, do some scaring there, and then I'll go back, switch out my mask again. I got a scary clown mask. Then I run back through the haunt, and it still takes a moment or two for them to get out of the cage and get through these other two rooms, the cult room and the clown room, to come here. And by that time, I've already run over here, the fog's going. I'll lay right here with this leg here, and this leg leaning over behind this cage, so that way I minimize the trip hazard. And then I lay back, and then as they come out, I know the sound of his voice. I know he'll knock on the door 3 times before he comes out, and I can hear him walking out, and then I'll sit up. And that gets a bunch of people, and I'll reach up because sometimes they don't even see. And with that fog, it's very, very creepy. So coming back through here, I have right here, I've just got this spot right here, this little ghost. All he is that's one of those tomato cages upside down, and I've got a string light in there which makes him glow, and it's just a skull stuck on top of those wires. And he glows from inside from those little tea lights. It's very subtle, but very cool. This is a little hidey spot right here. And this is the opposite side of the museum. So you can pull this back and peek through, see what's happening, or scare people. You can't really pass through it, though. It's just not enough room. And then here, I have, turn you around, I've got, this is my butcher room with all the appropriate accoutrements. Of course, it's still a kind of Egyptian theme because that's the whole theme of the room, but that's okay. I've got a whole storyline with these immortal sorcerers and stuff like that, but that's something for another day. Might even get sidelined completely, but it's something in my head to make things work. Fake chess pieces. Bucket right here is actually some water, with clean water with a sponge. Let me emphasize clean water with a sponge, and use that to splash on people. Just a little bit, just enough to make it icky and gross. And so that's that room. Plus I got these two, because sometimes the electric candles don't have enough light. I have these strobes right here, but I don't I don't want to do strobes in this particular haunted house. I want to do something with strobes later on, but these strobes are strobes that I can, when I turn to full maximum, the strobes stop strobing and they're just a steady on light, so it's perfect for accent lighting. And I got like 10 or 12 of them years ago at a big box store, and it works really well for accent lighting. And I had to use one in the cage to help accent what was happening in the cage. That worked really well. This is my spike wall from previous years. Let me back up a little bit. And so this wall is up here. I got this red light right there which casts down on it. It's in perfect position right now to kind of emphasize it a little bit. Plus this whole wall moves back and forth, so that's pretty cool. And I really like that's just motorized. And then coming through, I got this corner, which is a nice place to kind of, hide. This would normally go off, but it doesn't have the functionality exactly that I want, so it's just a creepy picture. That means as people come through, here's a little hidey hole right here that someone can jump out, and usually no one's going to notice these waters, really. I got a sound box right here. I got a couple of these I got spread out. And it just take 4 AA's. These things run forever. And I just take a little bit of black spray just to kind of dull them out. So then you come around. This is the camo netting right here, and this peel back, and then I've got my actor area right there, where I've got all my masks and costumes and stuff. We do makeup. It's a place for my actors to rest. And then here, as they come around, I have this area right here. I've got me a 10-foot skeleton, which I found on clearance. He was the floor model. He was half price, and I lucked out that someone didn't snag him before me. So anyways, here I've got all these extra candles. These are just some of my storage boxes for my Halloween stuff. I think this is actually some of my media production stuff. I got some batteries I gotta clean up. But I got all these lights and all these candles. I buy all these cheap ones, and they all work off the same remote control, so I can just go through the haunt, turn them all on. I love doing battery powered stuff. Of course, AC is far superior, but if something happens and maybe I'm somewhere, maybe do a pop-up somewhere, or someone wants to hire us to set up something, maybe in their home or something, it's easy to run a bunch of battery powered stuff. Just because that way I can set stuff up. I don't have to worry about plugging in outlets, unplugging their stuff. Got a lot of replacement bulbs, stuff like that. There's so much stuff that I got to set up someone's home, or business, or if they want to do a private party. I got tons and tons and tons of stuff. It's super easy. The only problem is trying to figure out what I'm going to use to set stuff up. And surprisingly, a little goes a long way. But anyways, here, I got this chair. I got this candelabra with these candles. These things are great. Take a couple AA batteries. But this is where I have anybody who wants to be here can be here. First night I had one of my buddy's little girl was sitting here, and she's so tiny. Put a mask on her, put a robe on her, sit her right there. She looks like a prop, and then she moves, freaks people out. Then the next night, and also tonight, I have someone who dressed up as the devil, but more than just the devil, they dressed up as Darkness from that movie Legend, where Tim Curry had the big devil set up, and someone had that mask, and my buddy's wife, she was all dressed up, super cool looking, really good. It's amazing. People aren't expecting that level in my haunt, and that level of mask and stuff. Because I gotta admit, I buy a bunch of inexpensive stuff, but they already had that real expensive mask for a party that they did, and they were nice enough to come out and use it and help me out. So it was really super cool, and it made an impact. So something else I want to show you as we move along past the devil, and there's different levels of interaction depending on who's here, kids, adults, whatnot. So there's the exit. Now right here, these candles actually light up. Nothing special. Just want to show you how neat it is. But this is also in the museum. I told you there's that little cut through, that little zip through. That's a Z-shaped. This is the other end of it. And I got a little string light in here, and actually I was kind of, here, let me hit that light so you can kind of see. And then we'll just come through here. And you can see here I've got a little string light right here, illuminates it just enough. And then people can pop out right here. And of course this camo netting is where we can scare people as they're getting towards the exit. Let me come back through this cutout. This cut through. Okay, so this is where we have my devil. And then we're coming through. And I'm particularly proud of this. You can kind of see that I've got these runes. And they're really just string lights. Oops, sorry. They're those fiber optic, inexpensive string lights. And what I've done is you can see when they're on, see how cool it looks. And my buddy, my tour guide, his whole shtick is he casts an aura of protection on people so that they will be safe as they go through the haunted house. Plus also too, it helps, you know, like kids who are scared and stuff. Oh, it's an aura of protection, you're fine. But then as he comes through here, at the very end, like when the devil's here, he says, oh, you evil wicked witch, you know, and he'll come through here, my aura of safety cannot protect you anymore. We have to hurry and get out because these runes take away his power. And it's pretty cool. He just kind of come up with it on the fly. And it was a really good idea. And it plays really well because it gives us a slight storyline. I mean, I've got a storyline already, but you know, it just adds a little bit. Because you know, it's one thing to have a storyline. It's another to have a storyline that people can follow. And that's the basic thing. Is basically he's going to tour this place, and they're protected by his aura of protection. And then it comes through. There's a little bit of danger, but obviously not really. And then it's like, quickly, we have to get to the end and get you out of here because I can't protect you anymore. So that's just kind of cool. That just little storyline is just kind of cool. It's been working out really well. And he came up with that on the fly. He actually got one of those voice amplifiers, an inexpensive one. And it works really good because that way he can kind of broadcast his voice without killing his voice. That's the big thing, is killing your voice. He can talk normally, broadcast his voice a little more. It sounds a little different because it is being amplified. So that's super cool. And and that's it really helps out because it can be loud in here. Now, and then here's that camera knife you can peek through and all that stuff. This right here is a little hidey spot behind my runes that people can be, and I have people run from the front of the cage and come over here and then come right here, and this is my final escape. People come through here. This is all illuminated. A pumpkin lord, I really don't have him turned on. He's just kind of there. This is my scare window for that front hallway. And then right here, as you get a little closer, there's a lot of uhs in here, isn't it? I'm just like, and I can't help it. It just happens. Anyways, I don't know why I say that so much. So here is another place that I'll have people come to and just kind of hide out, and right before they exit. Plus also too, this leads straight to the front. So that's how I can transverse so quickly, because I can either go through the haunt, go through my little Z cut through, I can come here, other people can come here, especially in these kind of cut throughs really help when you don't have a lot of actors or people can't always stay the whole night, because people have lives. And it's sometimes, you know, you just can't guarantee that someone's going to be here the whole night. And sometimes someone might get an emergency phone call that, hey, I got no choice, I got to go, got called into work, or, you know, my significant other is sick, and, you know, or car broke down, I got to go help them. And so you just can't guess. You can anticipate how many people you're going to have, but sometimes it can be a lot less. So having these cut-throughs allows just a handful of people really to run this whole haunt. Because if we had to, I mean, I still think even with 3 people, bare minimum, we could run this thing. It's going to be a little harder because one's the guide and the other 2 have to be able to scare guys, and they have to switch out a lot, but we could still do it. And what we would have to do is we just have to figure out the primary place where we're going to be, and we just have to be really on top of it. Ideally, I'd like to run with no less than 6 people, counting my guide, because that would give us a little bit more flexibility. But it's just, it's whatever we can do. Thankfully, I've had a really good cast of people, and they've really been able. They're talented, and they listen, and also too, they also take some initiative, and they're able to kind of, adapt to their surroundings, and everybody's been able to really kind of talk to each other and kind of work out exactly what it is they're going to do. And after a while, it's just kind of this dance that we have. People cutting through and moving around and making suggestions to each other. People listening, because everybody just wants the same thing. They just want the haunt to be really cool. They want to do a good job for all the people that come in, and they just want to do it next year because they want it to be successful. And so far, it has been really good, and everybody's done an amazing job. And scare actors, I got to tell you, they're the biggest part. I got all these cool decorations, but it's really kind of nothing without scare actors. Of course, you could run haunt in several different ways, but it's kind of the classic way to do it, and it's one of the best ways. So I think that's it. That is, got another mask here. I don't know if you can see it rotating back and forth. This mask had no eye holes, which some of them do, because you got to kind of cut your own eye holes, or not in some cases, but it's up to you. But anyway, but that's it. We're at the end of the haunt. I'll probably do some other walkthroughs. And again, I'm Dave Hunt, owner of GameMasters Guild. Thank you for watching. So stay safe, play great games, and I'll see you real soon.